Not sure if there are any Harry Potter fans in seventh grade, but in case there are, here's a few Harry Potter pickup lines to keep in mind. This is mostly for the boys. Sorry, ladies. Do you play Quidditch? Because I know a keeper when I see one. Are you a snitch? Because you're a great catch. We may not be in Professor Flitwick's class, but you sure are charming. Oh, that's great. The Sorting Hat has spoken. It says, "I belong with." Actually, no, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. Are you a basilisk? Because when I caught sight of you, I froze. Okay, so I was going to say four, but I said three instead. That works. Um, so we're in our last section on our unit on Japan. You are going to have a test on Japan next week, which I will um, discuss with you soon. We'll have a Zoom about it. I'll give you the information that you need to know to join the Zoom. You'll get a study guide, and I'll give you all the information you need to know. All right. We're going to talk about Japanese society now. This is section 3. All right. So this section is about Japanese social values, how they organize their society. So we know that before Buddhism influenced the samurai, before Confucianism influenced Prince Shitoku, Buddhism influenced Prince Shitoku as well. Um, Japanese values were based on their Shinto belief system. And the Shinto belief system was based around the idea of family loyalty. So you had your immediate family, and then you had your larger family, which was your clan. And then you had your local kami, which was sort of like the god that you would have to serve, that your clan would have to serve. All right. And then when Buddhism and Confucianism arrive, you have other values that are added on to family loyalty. These would be bravery, honor, harmony, education, and loyalty to others, maybe your daimyo or your emperor or to Japan itself. All right, so who is controlling or who is the biggest influencer on the direction that Japanese values are going? Well, these would be the nobles at court, right? Remember, things that the nobles at court do kind of like trickle down through the rest of Japan. Right? Also, it's important to note that even though Japan was always like gaining and losing leaders, right? Sometimes the emperor is the most powerful, sometimes the shogun is the most powerful, sometimes it's a family like the Yamato clan that's the most powerful, sometimes it's the monks or nuns that are most powerful, sometimes it's the daimyo, sometimes it's the clan leaders, right? Japan is always struggling with internal warfare and there's always internal turmoil, but these struggles did not destroy social unity inside of Japan. So these values were universal throughout Japan, right? So the fact that the emperor is no longer a powerful political figure anymore did not mean that he wasn't well respected. Most Japanese people thought the emperor was a guardian of Shinto beliefs, a caretaker of Japanese values, sort of like traditional Japanese father figure, right? So, and people still revered him as a god. Right? Now, let's look at what each taught. So, the Shinto religion taught that family loyalty was most important, that family members have to honor their ancestors, and that you're supposed to put the interests of the family unit as a whole above your own personal interests. And family wasn't just people you were related to by blood or through marriage. Your family also included your entire clan, and in some cases, all of Japan itself was seen as sort of your big family. And then when Buddhism arrived, Buddhism had a big impact, especially on the samurai, particularly through the belief in reincarnation, right? Because if you believe you're going to reincarnate after you die, that gives you more bravery in battle. Kind of like the idea that you're going to respawn after death, right? If you're playing a video game, you're going to be like a lot more aggressive if you know you've got a few lives left and you're going to respawn after you're dead. That's kind of how the samurai felt about themselves. What about Confucianism? So Confucianism impacts Japanese values as well, particularly through the Confucian value of harmony. So remember, Confucianism is a philosophy that comes from the spiritual philosophical leader of China, Confucius. He writes a lot about the importance of having unity and harmony in government. This is where Japan gets its constitution of the 12 articles. Japanese harmony is very important. And concern for harmony leads to something called seeking consensus, right? So this means you want general agreement among the members of a community or a group instead of majority rule, right? So if you're going to make a decision, you want pretty much everyone who's going to be affected by that decision to agree with the decision. You're not going to rely on a majority rule or representatives to make the decisions. You want all the people to basically be on the same page, right? So consensus-based decision making is really good if the group has it, because it means nobody's going to oppose the actions, right? If everyone in the class agrees that something should be done, then basically nobody in the class is going to have a problem when we start to actually do that thing, right? However, there is a big drawback to consensus, and that is that it's very difficult to achieve. When does everyone in a group agree on something? Almost never, right? There's always a few people who like to go against the grain, like to go against what the group wants, right? So consensus is really hard to get. So again, consensus-based decision-making is really good, but only if you can actually achieve it, because it's really, really hard to achieve, right? This is why majority rule is more popular for making decisions, or just electing representatives to vote for you is more popular than making consensus-based decision-making. All right. I do want to talk about the Honda Corporation, because for a long time, Honda, it's a Japanese company, used employee consensus based on Japanese Confucian ideals as a way to make decisions for its company, right? This is one of the things that made Honda really unique among motor manufacturers. They used employee consensus. They didn't use like a governing board to make decisions. However, by the end of the 1990s, Honda stopped doing this because it was just too difficult. It was holding Honda back, right? And so now they have a board, just like most other corporations, to make decisions for them. Okay. Let's see, 2 slides left. I think I'm gonna stop now, and I'll make it another video later. All right.